Chiefs has pride. Chiefs has pride. This is a conversation no one wants to have. Let's be honest. I think there's a financial issue. And I don't think management, about case and stuff, will say go put defenders. I don't think so. I think that is a technical team Dylan Sheppard thing.
Mandla, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for
having
having me. Yeah. Hey, it's been a while. It's been a while, but I'm here. For those who don't know me, I'm a Khosi network, the other channel on YouTube. But yeah, below.
So you link like how many subscribers? So if I can my comments as well. Yeah. No, it's you. We've had a season.
Yo. No, Chiefs. I feel like in my whole career of watching Chiefs, this has honestly been the most difficult. And this is me even talking about the season, Kevin Hunt. Kevin Hunt, at least we saw our youngsters. And we were like, okay, there's something, but we're just not getting there. But we also knew it's not being able to sign. But this season, and the season, the funny thing is that this season started in preseason. It didn't start like just normal. In preseason, those teams, Botswana, and all of these teams. I think we also played the young as well. We played the young, and then they were like backdoor, like games that weren't shown, and apparently it was like NFD teams, and you are still not beating them. And then we were like, this guy, since he started with Chiefs, I gotta win, I gotta won. So Manje, if you can't beat those teams, how do you expect to come into the PSL, who we think is much better than a lot of those teams, and beat DSTV Prem teams?
Because you know, when Tseg was announced, I remember making a video being shocked, and then the following day making another video saying we are still mourning. And Askalila, was it a mistake in the first place to remove Atazwan?
Let me put it to you this way. I understand why Atazwane left, and I don't think he was removed necessarily. I think when they had chats with him, they wanted to make him a coach, like to continue. But I think when Atazwane gave his grievances, because we saw towards the end of last season, he was no longer enjoying the hot seat because like it was bad how I'm a supporter were on him. So I feel it was that thing, Yoguti. They maybe thought Kuti maybe step down a bit, because now I'm sure he wasn't sure if he can take it to the next level. Maybe step down a bit, but then put Umulefe Ntseki as almost the face, but still support and show Ntseki what you were building from last season, etc. But the issue is that we saw Kuti, what Umulefe Ntseki brought and what Uzwane brought were two different things.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm also saying this from a perspective of a person who had Uguti. There was a vote, and Kaizer Jr. lost because he wanted to keep Uzwane, but the other ones wanted him gone. But at the same time, because I feel like if we go back to Uzwane, because if we don't talk about Uzwane, then the transition into Ntseki, then Johnson doesn't happen. Because you have Uzwane, who started like a game of Respect United. I remember that game because I think it was like the best showing of what Zwane Paul could do, right? And even against the first game when we played Royal AM where we lost, you could see we're playing Ebola, something we hadn't seen at Chiefs. What happened like in that, like after his sort of good start, you know, what happened?
I want to kind of explain it from why Zwane was not, why the mistake of him not being chosen as coach this season, also going back to that point. The reason why I say why we should have chosen him as coach would still not have worked is because there's a lot of pieces around him that have not been fixed. And that is why he failed. When that Maritzburg game, we went to Sundowns, we abandoned. Because for me, we lost everything against Sundowns. Because we abandoned everything we were trying to do between Maritzburg and Royal AM.
Exactly.
We abandoned all that play to defend against Sundowns. But the next game, we started looking similar to the team that played with Sundowns, like more defenders, etc. So then that's where my problem was. But my problem there is that if you realize, is that did Kevin Johnson not do the same thing now? And did Umulefe Ntseki also not do the same thing when he was playing It's like there's a shift. They start to play a certain way. They meet that big team. They shift in how they play totally. And then when that shift happens, how they play totally, they never go back to that initial form that they have. And the issue I'm saying that with that is that it's the technical team.
Yeah.
Number one, let's chat about why Uzwane didn't succeed. Fitness coach, he couldn't match what Uzwane demanded from the players.
Yeah.
The kind of fitness Uzwane demanded from the players, Umuzi, as I call him, Skansonso.
Skansonso is a shy scorer.
He didn't match what Uzwane needed. That's why Ashley Dupree, almost whole of Zwane's season, was always injured.
Yeah.
Because fitness
intensity
and what he needs is not working. Next thing is Dylan Sheppard. I don't wanna try blame Dylan Sheppard for a lot of things, but he's the most consistent person there, from Gavin Hunt, etc. And the issue I'm saying that is that his setup of play, what he's feeding Uzwane, is also not good enough, because Zwane was inexperienced. Let's start there. Zwane was inexperienced, meaning that he may have a good idea, he may have a good philosophy, similar to Rulani Mokoena, actually. Rulani went to Pirates, good idea, good philosophy, but not good support.
Yeah.
Went to Cheaper, good idea, philosophy, not good support. What does that mean? What you want to put out there, there's not enough support from your technical team to put it together, because you may have an idea of what I want to see, but you don't have the people who are going to say, but la fanele uyenze so, la fanele uyenze so, I game yakhe ivula igap so, what, and it didn't have that. And that's just because coach inexperience, assistant coach inexperience.
Sure.
Goalkeeper coach, he's never been a goalkeeper coach. He's never been, so also inexperienced. And then no striker coach. What is it setting up Uzwane for? Disaster. Molefe has the same problem. Disaster. Kevin Johnson has the same thing. Disaster. And that is why Nabi knows, when I come, I want to come with my technical team, because he knows they can get him to do what works.
Exactly. You know, while you are there's something that you said that made me think otherwise. So under Umlifinseki, we played Stebe, Castillo, and Mart.
Yeah.
And then again under Kevin Johnson, when we were playing Sundowns, it was the same combination that hadn't played since that game back in August. I want to ask, there is this belief that sometimes the coaches at Chiefs don't actually coach. Where are you in that belief? They are told, because with Uzwane was going also was the fact that it seemed like he was doing his own thing when he first took over, but it ended up not looking anything like what he wanted to do, as if someone said, try win the games and forget about implementing your philosophy. Where do you...
I'll start by saying this. There's not enough evidence for me to say, yes, that's true. And a lot of people are like, but we see Dylan Sheppard talking to people. But guys, that happens everywhere. Exactly. It's the analyst that you're chatting to. And then why I'm saying this is that the only game that I think management had an influence on is against Pirates. When we had Abom Tanzane. Yes, that is the only game I think management could have said, we need more ball players. We need like Tanzania, who is a big match player and stuff like that. Because you could tell, Guti, how Chiefs approached the Soweto derby was not, it was more like attacking, like they were more aggressive. It was like more of what we wanted them to have throughout the season. But then the next game, how? Babuile back to the team that we know. Tanzania is now no longer there. But with the Sundowns game, this is why I say I think it's Sheppard. Because Sheppard, I feel like, has an influence in that decision, because he thinks he's more the person who tries to think also tactics, who can work, etc. Kevin is assembling, managing, and then when it's time to go to say, let's sort up the team, I think that's where people like Abo Sheppard play a big influence in saying, this is what I'm seeing. This is the person who can do X, Y, Z, etc., etc. And the reason why I'm saying this is that what I've realized is that Shepherd is not the most attacking coach. He plays almost similar to Gavin Hunt, which is his teacher. They want to consolidate first.
They want to be safe first.
Exactly,
then
safe
they can
first.
hit you on account.
And the thing is that if you have someone who has a safe first mentality, even if you are a risky coach, if that person's like, but this is how I've analyzed, let's do this. You're going to be like, maybe let me, because he's your confidant, someone you chat to. And that's why I'm saying, when we had Arthur Zwane, the same thing happened. Molefenseke, the same thing happened. When we play Sandown specifically, we have 20 defenders. And I don't think management, about case and stuff, will say go put defenders. I don't think so. I think that is a technical team Dylan Shepherd thing. Because, look, we may think about Bobby don't know soccer and all of those things, but I would never think they would want to put Ahmad defend like that. Rather put, like they wouldn't, maybe if they had to choose the squad, they wouldn't risk it by saying Samkelo Zwane, he hasn't played enough. But they would say Mtanzane. You see, they would say, play Mtanzane, no Mdu.
My problem is though, if that's the case, why are they... Because me, I'm of a belief Uguti, Soweto Derby can look like the best game for Chiefs in a season because players don't need motivation. There's like 90,000 people there. It's just, you can't compare it to anything, So I think that players are motivated. The aggression that you see is just the atmosphere causing them to go, I don't necessarily think it's Johnson or whoever
with that, I want to always challenge people who say that specific. Yes, Soweto Derby is a big event. But I often want to challenge people to say, but when you play for Kaizer Chiefs, it's like playing the Soweto Derby every week. When we go and play Stellenbosch in the small stadium, it gets packed. And it's like, now it's a derby. Like the pressure from the fans is hectic. Meaning that our players are always exposed to that hype in some way, shape or form. And the things that I often say to people is that what we as fans don't see is the pressure that happens before the game. You arrive at the stadium, packed. And not at the airport. Fans are there. Hey, it's called my selfie. What kunama branch? There's people chatting, etc. You're always in constant exposure to the pressure. What changes with the Soweto Derby is management's influence, top tier management coming in. And because there's a difference with me saying, Mpilo, I'm your coach, I'm going to motivate you. Then Kaizer Down Senior says, Mpilo, Baba Pusha. This game is important. Kaizer Senior, no Kevin, are two different things to a play. That is one. Kaizer Senior is one player one person you don't want to disappoint. So,
but they always disappoint you.
But that's why I'm saying when the Soweto Derby comes, they come in that full force as management. But when it's other games and stuff like that, they're like, they are professionals.
But I think I know if I'm playing a team, shy. And you are better than them. But you approach the game with the mentality of, we should win this. But when it's a team that is at your level or even above, you're going out thinking, excel. I feel like sometimes for those games, you don't even need motivation. You just know that I have to show up for this game. So that is why, to me, I always say, I think as much as it is true indeed, Tuguti, the derby, the management might be there to motivate, but I still believe that even without that motivation from anyone else, that game just means that much. Because these guys, I feel, sad enough, I feel like they're used to the pressure and they just don't care sometimes.
But okay, there's 2 points, and that's why I think I like Uramovic. I think it's something I also mentioned in my channel about Tunabi. I'm scared Guti he'll fail because of the mentality of a South African player. You have to, that is the first thing you have to attack. Who did that when he got to South Africa? Ramovic. Abomlambo, these players that he feels like they are too relaxed and all these things, they don't take their career serious. He says, I don't want them in the team. He goes to Team Sugas and says, "C'est grand." And what it means is that he sends a message
To everyone.
Exactly.
And
And then think of the people he then brings into the team. Park.
Yeah.
What is Park?
Workhorse.
Workhorse.
Yeah.
Nukovic. You may not like him, but he works.
Yeah.
He's like he will get to. He's not fancy. He will just do what he needs to do.
The basics.
Those are the players he wants. You can look at the players he sold. Msimang, same player. Obas, same player. That's the player he wants. And in saying that, that's why I'm saying, Guti, you have to. Now, when you go to Chiefs, there's no coach who puts that on you.
Yeah.
So it's just about, come on, guys, we can do it. Ayiqali kanjalo.
Man was good futhi like right now.
Exactly. So, and that is actually something Atazwane showed last season.
And people didn't.
The
like
only
that.
problem with him is that he was showing it too much to the wrong people. So he wouldn't show it enough to people like Abomat and stuff. But the players he wasn't keen for. Pimenyimana, he showed it full force. The players he felt he could control more. Dushabalala, he did it full force. But the players who needed it the most.
I hated that because I feel like it's easier to pick on the little guy.
And that is why they were always the first substitute. Even if they were having the best game. Mdu Shabalala sometimes was having the best game of his life. Oh, next minute, 60th minute, obviously, 60th substitute.
Yeah.
Dushabalala, City Kanjan. Why you might get Nimshia? He's having the worst game. You see? And that is why I'm saying that is my only problem. Arthur was on the right path. He was just very selective. He has to have one tone. I
remember saying that to Guti. I felt like he said we are not going to nest people's feelings. Yet there are some people whose feelings got nest. Exactly. I mean, about Blom, they got dropped after they didn't perform against Raleigh. And
these are people guys, he raised.
Exactly. And it was easy for lazy to analyze good and I don't know. Could it be it's because he felt like develop and change?
It is that. It's because he's nurtured them, he's brought them up, and then he's like, it's easier. Let me put it to you this way: it's easier to shout at your child than someone else's child.
True.
You see, so it's easier to be like, yeah, why we are so. But when someone else's child comes and breaks your plate, you're gonna be like, oh, musupula izinto and stuff like you will, and then you say it in a more like soft way, and in a way you shout at your child. When he's playing umngani wakho, you must check him. You see, so you're more aggressive to the one you've raised, and you're more
the ones you love.
Exactly.
Exactly. Anyways, no, as Kubek, Kevin Johnson.
Yeah.
I was looking at Tati. She posted. He says it's been 7 months. I think 9 days, 42 hours. I didn't get 2 hours. But he was saying it's been so long since we fired Umlev.
Yeah.
Was it the right decision to bring Beku Johnson after the break? Keep in mind, he was winning at that time.
This is where me and you, remember there was a time when we were chatting and then I said, Kevin Johnson is doing fine. But I was saying, but he should not come back after
AFCON.
After AFCON, because that is a preseason.
Yeah.
So you were saying, I think it was it the Arrows game or was it from you? It was from the beginning, because Arrows, I think it was his first game.
No, Arrows, I said, okay, good, we saw Chiefs play.
Yeah, it was the Pirates
game.
Cape
Cape Town City, I was like, okay. Pirates game, I was like, that's it.
So that's where you were like, Agahambe, man. Agahambe. Exactly. But I was saying, Guti, based on what he's doing now, it's fine for him to let's not rush putting someone in. Because when you put someone in, it's going to obviously most likely be someone who is not there then at that moment.
No, I mean, sorry. Even then, I was not saying remove him after that game. I was saying remove him, and then after AFCON, it doesn't come back. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but okay, maybe I misheard. That's why I was saying, no, keep him until
the break of AFCON.
The break. Because I was saying, between now and the break, don't view Kevin as the coach. Never do that. That is the wrong idea. Kevin has a specific job he has to go do what you hired him for. Between now and then, go and speak to coaches.
Yeah.
Do the assessment, because there was a lot of time to do that assessment. Who became available, Pizzo, things like that. Then before the AFCON starts, because I think our last game was late in December. Before the AFCON starts, that new coach must know like that he's the coach. And then when the January is basically starting, because we basically played the whole January AFCON. And we only started like from the second week of Feb or somewhere there. The league started. Baba, that is more preseason than a lot of coaches get. So in that period, do you know what a coach can do?
Kempek was.
Like, no, but I'm like in that 6 weeks. You know what that guy can do? That coach can bring his philosophy and then tell you as management, Guti, there's a problem with the quality of the squad.
Exactly.
Why did Kevin Johnson say, I'm happy with the squad. Gonzalez, give him a try. It's a language barrier. Come back. His season. Who's been selling Gonzalez being a good striker? It's been Kevin. He's been telling us he's a good striker. He's seen him at training. It's just a language barrier. Then we get told good he scored a hat-trick in a friendly, things like that. But when the season starts, where's the guy?
But man, mina when manje uyisa kuma signing, lo muntu akanayo philosophy.
No, but
that's the problem.
I'm just
forget to Gonzalez because we can literally open transfer market. Even namanje singaqala sithi khulu. Sikhulume ngokeeper nama mistake abawenza sekuma right back, sekuma center. There is no player at Chiefs vele that somewhere worse than others. Yeah. But right now I'm saying even based on the philosophy, not the quality of the squad. Why were we keeping him for 6 weeks, knowing very well, Guti, as you are saying, a new coach could have implemented a lot of things within the time.
And you know why? Because Chiefs does this thing. Chiefs has pride. Chiefs has pride and one another thing. And this is a conversation no one wants to have. Let's be honest. I think there's a financial issue. Chiefs is starting to try be wiser with their choices with finances. Because this is my personal opinion. Compeller stayed at Chiefs for 3 years. I don't think management wanted that. But they were held to his contract. So it's like, when we release this guy, we're gonna almost have to pay him maybe 10 million just to release him. Then hire someone else who in that same year is going to get exactly. So that's the issue, which is why people don't realize the only person fired from Chiefs so far is Molefe. The rest who have underperformed, they redeployed. Why? It's harder to pay that person out now. Rather pay them over time. Then Pella, if we say beginning of the season, Molefe wants his own technical team. Dylan Sheppard, you need to pay him out. Others one, you need to pay him out. Mutibe, you need to pay him out, which is why I feel Nabi also had an issue there. He wanted to bring his technical team.
Still 2 years remaining on this contract.
Exactly. So you bring Nabi, let's say Nabi's technical team ends up costing you about, let's say, 30 to 40 million to pay them. Let's just say for a season, it's about 30 million. Because let's just say, obviously, Peter, we said it might be around 60. Let's just say Nabi.
Just the technical team.
Exactly.
Hey, wages.
So now, let's say for Nabi, it's 30 million. But you must realize the moment you say Nabi is going to cost 30 million, you must understand he's not the only cost. Someone must go. Motibe must go. His contract for the next 2 years probably costs Chiefs 5 million. Sheppard probably costs 8 million. The others one probably cost another maybe 10 million.
Isn't there a structure? Because I saw with Chelsea, Uguti, when they fired Graham Potter, they did not pay him out immediately. There was a structure, so Guti, they still pay him his salary.
There's a structure if you have money, which goes back to my main point. Guti, if you don't have money, you rather deal with the problem you
rather be paying this person than be paying this person while they're out of contract.
Exactly.
While you're paying another
which
person
is why it's
contract.
easy to, when there's no coach, bring Molefe. When there's no coach, bring Kevin Johnson.
Just
why?
reshuffle.
They're already in the payroll. But the solution is getting someone else.
Sure.
But that means adding a salary.
Exactly.
Why do we think there's Zimba chips?
Because they're trying to increase the revenue stream.
Why do you think there's the Kappa deal?
Exactly.
Trying to increase revenue stream.
Because another thing that people don't know is they think if you are buying a kit, some people don't know this. They think if you are buying the kits, the money goes to Chiefs. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
The money with Nike, the deal was structured in such a way that because for most football clubs, the revenue split is like 90% of the sales, or even 95, goes to the producer of the kits, and then 5% to the club. And then Chiefs with Kappa, they agreed with their proposal because Kappa was giving them a larger piece of the pie, as in sell 7. Every kit we get, we pay you 30% of that on top of the money that we paying you to use
because I'll say why the Nike deal is technically unfair is that if it works the same way Ajax Cape Town worked with Ajax Amsterdam, the kit that is made for Ajax Amsterdam is made for Ajax Cape Town. If it worked like that, then
so the money is going there.
No, but I'm saying the money is going there, but like a lot of the thing is handled that side. It's design, everything. You are looking
off the scraps, Nina.
Exactly. But now what's happening with Chiefs? You create a brand that is wanted. Or in UK, people want that brand. In Spain, it's rated the top 10 brand kits release, because UK had like which kits are the best release kits, and I think in 2 seasons the purple kit made it, and I can't remember. I think the black kit also was one of the top kits. That is the top kit, but you only get 5% and you created it, not Nike. You at home, meaning Jessica Mutau created it, but you only get 5% of your creation.
Imagine.
And then on top of that, you create that golden black kit, and they stop production for your kit and they give it to Barcelona.
That was the
so my question is, you are winning for being associated with Nike, but you are losing.
If you are watching this before Sunday the 9th, then part 2 will be dropped on Sunday. But if you are watching this after Sunday the 9th, then check out this video because that is part 2. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, Khosi.